Okay, we're unloading some wood out of the trailer today to finish drying it off. It's about 16 to 21%, and it's time to get it moved over here where it can get some wind and sun and all that kind of stuff. I went through and tested a lot of this wood with the moisture meter, so I know exactly where it's at. Most of this wood will be for our own use here because it's different lengths and stuff, but it'll all fit into our outside wood burner. That right there is about as long as I like to use in my wood burner. All this other stuff I can use in both the outside wood burner and the inside fireplace if we need it. There's a piece of dry wood right there. We'll keep it out separate. That one was a little bit moist. I remember it now. And that's what the case was with that one. See a lot of odd-sized pieces here, and that's because I don't care what I burn. Some customers do, and so I like to give them what they want. Took me a few minutes to get set up here today because the dog had this back pile back here all tore out looking for a pack rat or a field mouse or something that had got in there. I know he's just trying to help, but sometimes he can be a royal pain in the tush there, so to speak. Okay, I think I'll start getting that stacked up over here now. Got a bucket of kindling here for the next customer that buys dry firewood off of me. Most of this is pretty close to 16 inches in length, but some of it is just whatever I have to be cutting at the time. I know I should put this on kind of a speed thing, but because I take my time while I'm doing it, gives me a chance to talk to you folks about different things that we got coming up. We're going to be making homemade ginger or molasses cookies and probably some chocolate chip cookies. So we'll have those on, and we'll have recipes for what we use. Everybody's got their own home recipe, I imagine, but we'll give you ours so you got something to compare it to or try it against or whatever you want to do. And if there's any new folks out there that want a recipe, then they can get it right there. I noticed quite a few people liked our recipe for the German dumplings, and I had 2 or 3 different people from Germany contact me and say that that's exactly how they make theirs. So I thought that was kind of nice. My grandfather's name was Funkhauser. He was a German descent, and he fought on the American side during World War II. So you know what's going on in this old world. We got people on our side on all of the sides of the world, so to speak. One of the problems having all this misshaped wood is trying to find a spot for it. So that takes a little bit longer, but at my age, I don't mind taking my time a little bit. I'll be 72 here real quick. My birthday's on 9 January, and that's when I'll be 72. So I'll probably start taking it even slower then. But you never know. Everybody I work with says, "You work too fast for an old man." I said, "Yeah, I probably do. That's okay. I work as fast as I want to, and I don't care if anybody likes it or not." I say that's what I use the pallets for, is to get the airflow coming up and drying this wood out a little quicker. But if you notice, I'm always stacking so there's airflow coming in different directions and up. This time of year our air is primarily out of the northwest here, so This is getting a lot of good strong wind, and that's why I don't stack them as high as some of the other folks do that are on the YouTube channels. I'm not trying to make really good face boards or anything like that. I'm just trying to get it so that it dries. A lot of the people don't even like the wood that I burn here, but this elm, I've got it all over the place here. Got 5 acres and probably most of it is elm. I go down into Kansas to some friend's house and cut oak and some of the other brands of wood that folks like. But, you know, we just got to do what we got to do in this old world. And that's what we're doing. Now, like I said, most of this here is elm, but it's what I got, and when it's dry, it's as good a wood to burn as about any. I know some of the folks up in the North Country where they've got all that hard maple and walnut and oak and all that kind of stuff. I've got a place to get oak down in Kansas, but I just don't get down there too often. But when I do, I pick up some, and wife and I enjoy having a good long fire out there whenever we can. See, this will go over here with these long ones. There is a few different kinds of wood in here because I do cut some trees down for folks that need the help. And I can make a couple bucks that way, and they get the tree out of the way and all the brush cleaned up. You see ones like this, a lot of folks don't like it because it's crotch wood that I split up, but it's so tight in here. When this dries, it's really, really a good long burning wood, as good as any wood on the market. So if you need good wood, you can take any kind of wood that's dry and then search for the crotches and the limb corners and stuff like that. But it don't get any drier than that. That's about 16% there. I like to get it down around 12 or 13, and so that's just where I'm at on it. Now here's one here that'll have to go on top, so I'll just leave it over here for a little bit. Same with that one. If they got to go on top and I want them, that's where they go. That's one of the advantages to doing wood yourself. When you get it home, if that piece is 4 inches too long, just cut it in half with your circular saw and let it finish drying out, and you got a good piece of wood. I'd like to have all oak in here for customer use as well as myself, but I don't like having to drive an hour to get it and then bring it home and take care of it. But I do, and when I do that, I know I got good quality wood, and I charge a little more for it, because you got to pay for the gas nowadays too, and the gas keeps going up thanks to the current situation we're in. I'll let it sit at that, but you all know what I mean. My buddy that does my editing and posting for me, he's in the hospital right now. He's got some kidney problems. So if you keep old Tom Riley Jr. in your prayers, I'd appreciate it. He's a good man, and he does a lot of work for other folks, and whenever he can't do it, he calls on me, and I try to help where I can, making sure folks have enough food in their belly to eat, feed their kids, and all that kind of stuff. It's just the thing that folks need to remember, how to do that kind of stuff again, because that's where we're at in this country. We got to help each other get through this time. When we get through it, we'll get through it and get into a better place in what we're doing here. Told old Chris in the woodyard a couple of times how I know he'd be real happy to come help me cut all this elm up. And he just tells me, no, I don't think so, John, you're doing a good job. Told him, I said, yeah, you're spoiled with all that hardwood you got up there and red oak and all that stuff. And he said, yep, and I like it that way. So Chris has got a good channel. If you haven't been over to see him, he sells firewood and he does photography. He's been doing it for a while now. So I reckon he knows what he's doing. Come on, baby, get on in there. There we go. Okay. I normally turn this up so that the grain of the wood is facing up when I can. I don't get it there all the time, but I try to get it there most of the time. You won't see a lot of limb wood like this, but I do get it occasionally because I know that it's dry or pretty dry. And like last night, that's all I burned all night long was limb wood. It burns a little slower. And okay, there's that. There's that. We'll just throw that in there to give it something to think about. Now we're going to take this trailer and we're going to go over and pick up a load of dry firewood that I've got stored over there in the shed. I could take it off the lot here, but if it's out here, then I know that it's getting sun and air and everything, and that over there was dry when I put it in. So anyhow, that's kind of how it goes here in the wood lot.